We have air traffic controllers who work more than 5 days a week. They work 6 days a week to make sure they can cover air travel throughout the country. And so if you have a controller that's working 6 days a week but has to think about how am I going to pay the mortgage, how am I going to make the car payment, how am I going to put food on my kid's table, they have to make choices. And the choices they're making is to take a second job. Safety is paramount for us. And so if we don't have the staffing levels in a tower, TRACON, or center, you will see us delay traffic. You will see us cancel flights. Because I want you to get to where you're going. I want America to get to their destination and get there safely. But I'm getting word now from Oklahoma City where I have young air traffic controller students who are now telling me, what the hell am I doing? Why am I going to take this job? They're thinking about leaving the academy, smart young men and women, because they don't want to work for a system that won't pay them, that doesn't guarantee them a paycheck. And their paychecks are at risk. We pay those controllers as they go through the academy. I do think in the Democrat senators' hearts, they want to vote to open the government up. They don't want to hurt the American people. But we've seen they have a radical base, a base that's out of control. And if they vote to open up the government, what's going to happen is they are going to be primaried. They are going to be attacked. Maybe their funding might dry up. And so this shutdown is not about the American people, not about the pain that America experiences because of the shutdown. This is because Democrats are concerned about their own hide, and they've sold the country to the most radical element of their country. And I think that's really shameful. It's too bad. I also want to thank the Congress, led by Sam Graves. Many of you have seen what's happened with our air traffic control system. It's old, it's antiquated, it's safe, but it has to be massively rebuilt. We need a new system, and I want to thank the House for leading that effort. We've asked for $31.5 billion. We got a down payment of $12.5 billion to begin that really important work. Before the shutdown, we have crafted our teams in a way that can keep that work moving forward. It doesn't stop during the shutdown. Because, again, 6 months from now, you all won't care that Democrats shut the government down. You'll want to know what the results are and the progress of building this new system. So that is still operational. But I do want to talk about air traffic controllers for a moment, because I think this is incredibly important. They're angry. I've gone to a number of different towers over the course of the last week to 10 days. They're frustrated. They're frustrated that the Congress is focused, at least in the Senate, on paying for health care benefits for illegals as opposed to paying their paychecks for the great work that they provide to the American people. That makes them angry. You've seen, as the Speaker mentioned, across the national airspace, we see there's certain centers or TRACONs or towers where we'll see a lower staffing. When we have lower staffing, what happens is you'll see delays or cancellations. But it's not one tower, it's not one TRACON, it's not one center, it's maybe one center one day, it's a TRACON another day, it's kind of moving throughout the national airspace. But it's causing disruptions. So a week ago, last Tuesday, air traffic controllers got 90% of their pay, because that paycheck came from most of it for the work they did in September. So they got most of the money. Next Tuesday is the first paycheck that they will not receive for the work that they did in October. And to the Speaker's point, we have air traffic controllers who work more than 5 days a week. They work 6 days a week to make sure they can cover air travel throughout the country. And so if you have a controller that's working 6 days a week but has to think about how am I going to pay the mortgage, how am I going to make the car payment, how am I going to put food on my kid's table, they have to make choices. And the choices they're making is to take a second job. Well, I don't want my air traffic controllers to take a second job. I want them to do one job. I don't want them delivering for DoorDash. I don't want them driving Uber. I want them coming to their facilities and controlling the airspace. But they're having to make decisions about how they spend their time to make sure they put food on their table, feed their kids, and support their family members. I want to make one other point really clear. Some have asked about safety, or you maybe ask me if I'll let you give me some questions. Safety is paramount for us. And so if we don't have the staffing levels in a tower, TRACON, or center, you will see us delay traffic. You will see us cancel flights. Because I want you to get to where you're going. I want America to get to their destination and get there safely. And it's not moving as many flights as possible. It's moving as many flights as possible safely. That is our mission. That is our number one goal. And if we can't do that, you'll see the flights come down. You will see the delays and you'll see the cancellations. One other problem that I want to address that we're seeing now in the shutdown, you've seen that we don't have enough air traffic controllers. We're 2,000 or 3,000 air traffic controllers short. And so what I've done is I've developed a plan to supercharge air traffic controllers into our system. The president said, bring in the best and the brightest, young men and women to work in this space, which is what we've done. We've shortened the timeline from testing to get into to our facility where we train our air traffic controllers in Oklahoma City. Shorten the timeline. Get the best and the brightest. The highest test scores come in first. And that's what we've done. It's going to be a multi-year process to make up the shortfall that we have in the system. But I'm getting word now from Oklahoma City where I have young air traffic controller students who are now telling me, what the hell am I doing? Why am I going to take this job? They're thinking about leaving the academy, smart young men and women, because they don't want to work for a system that won't pay them, that doesn't guarantee them a paycheck. And their paychecks are at risk. We pay those controllers as they go through the academy. We don't pay them a lot of money either. They rely on that. And when that money doesn't come, it creates not just disruptions for when Democrats in the Senate decide to forego the crazy left and actually fight for America. That's problems that ricochet in the months and the years to come. And I think it's important that we tell that story because if we don't, I think that you can give the Democrats a pass. We have to talk about the real consequences of what this shutdown does, talk about who we're fighting for, and why this matters to, again, open up your government. Open it up. It's easy. And then sit down and negotiate. Have a conversation. But to allow the radical element in the Senate to hold America hostage, I think would be shameful. That's not how we operate. We don't negotiate when that is the structure set by Democrats. So I'm all in favor of making sure this funding comes. Let's open it up. Let's have a great conversation. Let's figure out where we go forward. And I think that would be the most common sense approach. But I'll just tell you this. I want to reiterate, we are all about safety. And we will make sure we work every day on that part of our job. But again, I can't guarantee you that your flight's going to be on time. I can't guarantee you that your flight's not going to be canceled. It's going to depend on our air traffic controllers coming in to work every single day. And again, my message to them is, one, thank you for coming and working. We appreciate that. Come to work, even if you don't get a paycheck. We need you to come to work. But if they do not, we'll know whose fault it is. And I just want to say, as I introduce Sam Graves, Sam has been a champion in the airspace. The industry loves him. No one has done more to drive this reform of how we build a brand new air traffic control system, thinking it through, driving it through the Congress, making the sales pitch than Sam Graves. And I couldn't be more grateful for his friendship and partnership. And so I think Sam is going to go right now. And I appreciate the leadership team here as well. Even guys from Minnesota are okay too. So thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Mr. Secretary. As chairman of the Transportation Committee, I do want to point out what has already been pointed out, and that is our skies are safe. They are very safe for folks to travel and for folks to be able to get to where they need to go. And I do want to commend our air traffic controllers straight up because, and this just goes to show you just how steadfast they are. They're showing up for work. They're doing the job. And they're making sure that that our skies stay safe. I've got a number of good friends who are air traffic controllers, and they have expressed extreme frustration because of this situation. They're worried about getting paid. They're worried about, as was pointed out, meeting that mortgage and being able to make the car payment or whatever the payment is that they have to do or take care of their family. Something as simple as that. I do want to commend the Secretary and the President for filling all of the open seats at the Academy in Oklahoma City. They hit their quota of 2,000 new air traffic control students that are learning, and I want to commend them on increasing the pay for students going to the Academy. It's needed, and it's also needed to be able to attract the best and the brightest that are out there. As the Speaker pointed out, this is political gamesmanship on Senator Schumer's part, and it's unfortunate that he's weaponizing the air traffic controllers and he's weaponizing families as we go into the holiday season when it comes to those delays that will ultimately probably happen and the cancellations that are probably going to happen. And as the Secretary pointed out, we need to remember who it is that is causing this and why they are causing this. This is political games. All we need to do is pass the clean CR so we can move forward and then talk about these things that need to be talked about.